Hey people, how are you today? I'm heading to a very important meeting, very important meeting. And, I had to, I was planning on taking the train, but I had to go back home and get my car in the rain. It's just very sad. Sometimes you never know what a person is going through. And, sometimes a kind words can prevent a lot of things. I don't know, in certain instances if it would make a difference, but a try or something. You never know. You never know who you're gonna reach. You never know what the circumstances are. You don't know what the situation is. They say everything happened for a reason. Like, I'm late right now, maybe it's for a reason. My meeting should have been for 3:30. I was sent a message asking to come an hour later. Now, trying to get to that meeting is another chore, because the subway from my area is now closed because someone jumped in an attempt of taking their own life, committing suicide. Just bear with me a moment here. Committing suicide. So, a lot of people, they look at things and they look at suicide as a way out. We never know why. We don't know what the situation is, but you look at suicide as a way out of whatever your circumstances are, your situation is. You don't get rid of the situation by committing suicide. You leave someone else in that, and that's quite selfish. I think that's quite selfish, that you would think taking your life and leaving others in despair is the way to go. Yes, sometimes you have no control over certain things because of mental illness, but on the other hand, you do have control. I'm talking on my behalf right now because it's also selfish, because you jump on the train lines, which is inconveniencing hundreds of people, if not thousands at this point. And I don't know what these people think. I don't know if they're high on drugs. Yes, at Saddletown. It's closed right now. It's closed right now. I try to get to my appointment. I'm going all the way downtown. Get there. I can't get in. As soon as I get to a certain point, I realize I can't get in. I had to go back and get my car. People, when you do certain things, bless up Squatty. When you do certain things, it's not conducive to others that you may know. It causes a lot of stress on your family members, among other things. Times are hard. Life is hard. I'm not sure why a person will get to that extreme, to say, yes, they're going to actually make the attempt. You can consider, you can contemplate, but grab hold of yourself, grasp yourself, and wonder what the benefits of committing suicide is going to be. What is the benefit of committing suicide? How are you going to explain to your family? There's no explanation to your family. You leave them thinking. You leave them feeling like they haven't done enough, or leave them with a sense of guilt. You're leaving more situations and obstacles than actually leaving answers to anything. So we really gotta grab hold of ourselves when we're thinking that committing suicide is the way out. You know what I mean? Hey DJ Chihuahua, and big up. You don't know. You never know what a person is going through. No, we don't know what the circumstances are where they contemplate suicide. No. However, sometimes it's coming from other people as well. Sometimes we pressure other people into feeling cornered, into feeling that's their only objective. That's the only way that they can get out of a situation. Bullyism is one of the things. When you sit down and you sit on people and you push buttons and you this is what you do to people when you do these things. So people, we gotta wake up. We really gotta take a look at what we do. See, some of the things that we can do to prevent things like this is, some of us are very mean-spirited. Some of us are very, very selfish when it comes to certain things. And life is not an easy thing nowadays. Life is not easy for anybody. So does that mean that you're looking at committing suicide as a way out of your issues and your obstacles, and that's gonna satisfy with everything that's going on in life? No, it's not going to. It's an answer to you, but then it leaves others out there, your family members, your friends, etc., in turmoil, emotional and other things. So when you think of doing that, when you think of committing suicide, and you think of that as your only means out of your circumstance and your situation. No, there are other ways out. You understand? And those people out there who contribute to these people taking their lives in the form that you're mean-spirited, you speak ill of someone, you bully somebody, you know, you take set on somebody. In a full community, that's what we do. We need to stop these things, because this is a part of mental illness that we can prevent. These are things in some form, some shape or form. When it contributes to mental illness, these are things that we can do, because a person is mentally unstable at the point where they contemplate taking their lives. So yes, it's a form of mental illness, and we really need to take a look at things like that, you know. We really need to take a look at things like that. On the other hand, we have some people who figures that, yes, me can't handle my bills, yes, me this, or yes, me that. You know, going to taking responsibility for your actions is not it's not the right way for you to go ahead and say you're going to commit suicide. That's not taking responsibility for your actions. That's being a coward at the same time. You understand? This is pretty hard. This is a tough situation. You know, it's big up Daniel. These are tough times, as I said, for everybody. You know, so, you know, in these days and time, we just got to learn to be more courteous. We got to learn to be more thoughtful of others, and on top of other things. You know, we gotta think about things like that. Think about people for a change instead of thinking about ourselves all the time. You know, the race is not for the swift, but for those who can endure. But at the same time, why are you putting people through all these things? You know, why are you the cause of why some people are putting themselves to this extreme by thinking suicide is the only way out? Stop bullying people. You understand? Stop bullyragging people, as Jamaican would say. You know, stop bullyragging people. Get off of people's name. Get off the bandwagon of negativity. You understand? And try to be a positive support for someone. Try to be a positive support for someone. And if you do something to someone and they respond in a negative manner, this is based on the things that you've done. You understand? So don't label people because you force them to respond. Do not label people because you force them to respond in a negative way. When you force people to respond in a negative way, you know, that becomes an issue, and it becomes a major issue. You know, you take people out of their realm. You know, sometimes you force a person who is usually not a person who speaks, you understand, to open their mouth in a negative manner, and then you're the same one go, see me tell you, say them never nothing. You understand? People wake up. I'm tired of it for myself, I'm tired of it to people, for, you know, so for people to commit suicide, it's a big reason. It's a big reason. And a whole heap of people in my own community. It's the same bloody thing. It's the same thing you put people through. It's the same garbage you put people through, and I'm just absolutely tired of it. You know, I've been to the point where I've been through depression because of people and them bullying, and them figure say them own the city, and them own you, and them own everybody else. People just stop it. You understand? You never know why a person commits suicide. I don't know why this person tried to commit suicide today. But it must be some form of mental illness. It must be something going on. You understand what I mean? So we now gotta wake up and see, you know, take a look at ourselves. Look within ourselves. I'm all the way right now, for those who know Calgary, I'm all the way in Rundle, and there's still no train. Police has blocked off or cordoned off certain sections of the train line. So, you know, these are the things. There's a news camera right here. So, you know, people, we gotta wake up. So, you know, we really gotta wake up. Being mean-spirited, thinking that you own a place, or thinking you want to ruin a person, and you see people putting their money into trying to better themselves in their life, or, you know, for whatever purpose, and you figure that you want to take over, or you want to bully this person because of the better, whatever. Your day is gonna come. You understand? Your day is gonna come. What I've learned is that I sideswipe negative people like you, narcissistic people like these people who contributes to these mental state of negativity for people. I learned to sidestep it. You understand? Because everything that you do in life and you're trying to aim higher, you understand? People are always there to push negativity towards you or towards your goals and your dreams and your aspiration. Why is it that you think that your family or your need is more than someone else, to the point where you want to destroy someone and, you know, destroy their family? If your family is meaningful to you, don't you think I am meaningful to my family, my children, who are my friends. You know, you're not the only people who exist. And this is what I'm talking about. Just wake up. You understand? While, yes, someone trying to commit suicide, it's a form of selfishness. I'm not going to say whatever. It's a two-sided thing. They are selfish to think that them committing suicide is not leaving others to deal with the circumstances surrounding their situation. You know, we got to learn from it. We really got to learn from it. So, you know, they say things happen for a reason. You know, things happens for a reason. But in this situation, whatever the reasons are, you know, whatever the contributing factor is, you know, whatever the reason, no matter what the reason, you know, we got to wake up from it. We got to wake up and smell the coffee. It doesn't feel good when anyone dies of natural causes, much as to say in a situation like this that I've seen the videos. It's very graphic at this point. You know, somebody you jump in front of a train and then you're dragged for how many, you know, meters or whatever. It's not a good thing. It's not a pretty thing, you know. And you know, sometimes we share things because we get this information. Some things are not to be shared. You understand? Some things are not to be shared because what we share on social media nowadays, it's utterly disgusting. You understand? We see, you know, somebody get shot, somebody get stabbed up, whatever the situation is, and we share those graphic images. Some things are not to be shared. You know, we really need to take a step back and look at what we do, what we put out there. You know, and if you talk about real life, people vex with you. When you look at graphic things like that and, you know, other things that I see circulating, I don't think that's right, you know. I do share things on social media, but I weigh and measure certain things that I should share. You know, I do weigh and measure that. So, you know, these are the things we need to wake up and look at, you know. Suicide, contributing factors to suicide. Yes, you have the trials of life. Number one factor, whether a relationship breakdown, loss of job, financial instability, whatever it is, those are contributory factors to mental illness, and people don't know that. Another thing is bullyism. And when you bully somebody and you continue to bully somebody, and they feel that there's their only recourse. You understand? You are actually, if this is reported ahead of time and this person writes a letter to say that they took their life because of you and what you're doing to them, bullying and whatever, that is manslaughter. A lot of people don't know that. Go read it up. That is manslaughter. You can be charged with manslaughter for things like that. So, you know, we need to really wake up and see what we are doing, how we are treat people, how we live with people. And, you know, especially when people are in trouble, no. You understand? You find fault of people for no reason. You know, people wake up, man. We really need to wake up. You know, stop contributing to people and their issues. Times are hard enough. People have enough issues of their own. Stop doing things like that, you know. The world don't belong to me, don't belong to you. It belong to everybody will live in there. You understand? Belong to everybody will live in there. Not one city, not one space. If you own your house, yes, you can say off limits. You can put your restrictions. But when it's an entire city, you know, you cannot go out there and just claim that, you know, you first do this or you do that, and people this, and you bully rag them for how long, just for whatever, you know. The day and time that we live in, it's hard enough. It's very, very, very hard, you know. So people wake up. So on a more positive note, you know, because that's quite traumatic for, as I said, for anybody. On a more positive note, if people check on Omni Alberta, you'll see my programming debut is on the 15th. So my show airs on the 15th of September, which is Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. here in Alberta. I am pleased with that. I am actually very pleased, and these are the things I'm going to be bringing forward. Struggles of life, you know, just living, entertainment, everything else. You know, you have to be real. A lot of people are not real nowadays. You have to be real regardless of the cost. You don't change yourself because someone does not agree. Hey, Ken, wait, McCarmel put in there. People don't agree with what you're doing. People don't agree with what you're doing does not necessarily mean that you're doing something bad. You understand? They may not agree. People are entitled to their own opinions, you know, and sometimes their own opinion or their opinion, it could be wrong, but to them they think it's right. A lot of people do things and think it's right when it's definitely not right. So, you know, you just got to continue to live for you, because you can't live for other people. You just got to continue to live for you. Everybody is going to have their own opinions as to how they think you should do something. Sometimes it's right, most times it's wrong. you know, because only you know what your goals are. Only you know what your aspirations are. Only you know what your outline is. Nobody does. You know, you have a plan and somebody takes that plan and run with it. Chances are they will not execute it as well as you will, because that was your plan to begin with. You know, so at the end of the day, you know, you just have to continue to do what you're doing and do what's best for you. You know, so this is what I'm doing right here. I put myself first before anyone else. At this point, I'm learning to do that. It's been a very hard task because of the type of person I am. I think of others. I put myself in others' shoes. Hi, Tatiana. How are you, sweetheart? I put myself in others' shoes, and I take up other people and their burdens before I look at my own. And that's often my downfall. As much as I'm classed in many different lights, that's truly who I am. I'm always there to help others while when I'm in need. And a lot of people find themselves in that position. Well, I'm not the only person, but speaking from my perspective, when you're in that position, you will not find the help that you need. So, you know, we just got to learn to weigh and measure where we go, what we do, and who we help. You know, help those who help you. The Bible says an eye for an eye. I think that's really the way to go right now. You know what I mean? Don't overextend yourself to someone who will not do the same for you. And it's very hard to see those people nowadays because people are not real. You have a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing, and you also have a lot of snakes out there as well, you know. So this is what life is about. This is what I'm learning. It's a huge learning curve for me. A huge learning curve for me. So, you know, I'm learning as the time goes by how to really just stand up for myself, turn a blind eye. My ex-husband used to tell me that if you don't listen to people and them problem, you won't feel compelled to fix it or do anything about it, you know. And it turns out that it's so true. You know, it seems selfish, and I used to be like, what are you talking about? You know, somebody's trying to tell you what they're going through, tell you what their issues are, and in a sense, what he says, it's all fact. It's like, if you don't listen to them and them problem, if you're not gonna want to feel, say, you know what, I forgot help that somebody, yeah, and then you feel trapped. You understand? Because people are not appreciative of you and the help that you give them. They are really not appreciative of that. So that's what I come to learn, because you have people out there who are very selfish. And you know, this is the world we live in right now, because no matter what you do, you never do enough. Even when you give them your all, you've never done enough for them. So, you know, this is what I have to say. People just wake up, smell the coffee. Look out for Kim Connects. That's airing on Omni TV here in Alberta, September the 15th at 9:30 a.m. That's my first show, my premiere. I do have a launch planned, a launch party planned, but it will come after. I'm not worried about, you know, that will come after. You know, so I thank everybody who's been there for to support me, who's been positive, you know, who's there to give me that push, give me that drive when I feel like giving up. Because trust me, sometimes I really feel like give up, because there's a lot of people here who's there praying for my downfall. But you see, my God is a good God. You know, he is a good God, and he's true. He's true to me. So I have to be true to him, and I gotta stand up for him, and I gotta continue pushing through, because it's not everyone who gets this opportunity, and through him I'm able to get to this opportunity and try to push forward and do more and represent my community to the best possible way that I can. So for now, this is the girl Kim Connects, and as I said, whenever you're having issues, people, you know, try to talk to someone about it. Try to find a way out. There's always alternatives. There's always, thank you, Daniel, there are always resources. You know, there are always places that you can go and speak with people. You don't have to resort to taking your life. And God, He knows I'm speaking because I've been there. I've been to points up and even last year when I feel like just giving up. I feel like there's no way out. I'm like wondering what else is left to do. And I've asked the question, I said, what else do you guys want me to do? Take my own life? Well, you're not going to get the satisfaction. You understand? You know, Bob Marley song said, I got tired for seeing my face, but you can't get me out of the race. People, wake up. Stop living on people. Stop bullyragging people. Stop taking and sucking the breath out of people with your negativity, because that's what you do. You understand? When you take that from people, you take a piece of a person, and people already out there with low self-esteem. You understand? Some people have nowhere to turn. They have no corner. For me, myself, the only support I have is me. I don't have family here. So me now have to depend on myself and rely on myself. And when I drop into that depressive state, I know when I have to grasp myself. A lot of people don't know when they've gotten there. A lot of people are in denial. Understand? And I put that out there the other day, and I put it out, and somebody's saying to me that's not a form of mental illness. Yes, it's a form of mental illness. When a person goes out and have to make up that persona, you understand? They lie for no reason. They do a lot of things that you think it's sane, but it's not a sane thing. You understand? It's not the same thing. We really need to look at things like that. You know, yes, Daniel, always smiling. It's, you know, there's a lot of things that people do not attribute to mental illness because they don't know the signs of mental illness. And yet they dismiss it, especially in our black community, especially Jamaican, Caribbean people, West Indian people. Everything is a faux pas. Mad wa, I too lick the penny want, or mad wa, this, that want. No, we need to wake up. There are different kinds of situations that contribute, or it's labeled as mental illness, or it is mental illness. Sometimes it takes a while for it to be acknowledged, but people who works with different people with different stages of mental illness, they understand, especially when it comes to seniors. Dementia is a form of mental illness. Alzheimer's is a form of mental illness. You go in the nursing home, you see these things, and you know it's a sad situation. But these are things, every sort of illness out there, these are things that we got to deal with, whether we like to or not. It's already there, you know. So wake up, you know. For now, I'll let you know how my meeting goes. Already late, as I said. There was no train. I had to drive somewhere else to get the train, so my trip, my appointment's already delayed. But you know what, it's good things. I'll tell you when I get there. Probably give you a sneak peek of what it is, but it has to do with Kim Connects. It has to do with Alberta. It has to do with the Caribbean. It's huge, trust me. So I'm heading downtown for this huge meeting with a lot of directors from a particular company, and I'll bring you the great news later. And I'll tell you what it's about later. Just let me get there first, you know, and have a blessed evening. And you know what? Whenever you feel like you've reached the end of your ropes, remember there's someone out there who's having it harder than you are. You know, when you think that you have no meal on your table for this minute, there are people who haven't eaten in days. So, you know what I mean? When you feel like you don't have $1 in your pocket, there are people who are going through the same thing, even worse than you are. You understand? If once you have a roof over your head, regardless of what the circumstances are, you know what? There are always resources. Sometimes pride gets in the way. You understand? And people, we have to learn to keep our mouth kiba. We have to shut our mouth. You understand? Because there are times when people out there who has no way out, and they want to turn to someone, but they are scared to go to anybody because our mouth. You understand? A lot of people are suffer because of that. You understand? They want to talk to someone. They want to reach out to someone. They want to ask for help, but they're scared to, because they're scared of the chattery that will follow afterwards. You understand? So everybody have a good day and live with an open mind. You understand? The world is not only about me and you, it's about everyone else, regardless of race, color, creed, religion, sexuality, whatever your situation is. The world belongs to all of us. Not one set of people, not one group of people. Belongs to everybody. You know, with that being said, I'll link up with you guys later. I have a lot to tell you, and I have more things to come. So, good evening.